One of the biggest questions I have coming out of Season 2 of The Mandalorian is whether Bo-Katan and Din Djarin will engage in combat over the Darksaber. One of the greatest manipulations pulled off by Moff Gideon in this season finale was being defeated by Din Djarin, who then takes hold of the Darksaber, the very thing Bo-Katan has been after since we met her, and forcing their hand into a future conflict. As Gideon tells us, merely possessing the saber isn't enough. It's the story of how one acquired it. That's what has power. And while he is delivering this news to Din, who attempted to hand over the saber to Bo-Katan, Gideon is grinning, knowing what he has accomplished. This does raise a question about why Bo-Katan refuses to take the saber now, when in the past she accepted it before without engaging in combat. My guess is even though she wielded the blade once, Mandalore was already too fractured with all of their clans to unite under Bo-Katan without her winning it through a trial by combat. Without that story, she held no power. Either way, this blade was taken by Moff Gideon at a certain point in time, and subsequently won by a member of the Watch. As a quick recap, the Children of the Watch are a cult of religious zealots that broke away from Mandalorian society, and their goal was to reestablish the Ancient Way, aka the Way of the Mandalore. Now, of course, we find out Din was not aware that he was part of this fringe group, and as we saw over the course of Season 2, Din is taking risks with his creed by taking off his helmet in front of living beings. To do so means that he can never put his helmet back on. However, as I always say in these Mandalorian reviews and videos, Din and other Mandalorians will come to redefine what it means to be a Mandalorian. Now back to Bo-Katan and Din. I believe that part of Season 3 will be regarding Din's status of being the rightful ruler to Mandalore now that he is in possession of the Darksaber. And I believe it's not above Moff Gideon to somehow leak information about how Din won this in battle, and then once again subsequently tried to give it to Bo-Katan, an individual speculatively deemed unworthy to wield the saber. And the reason I love this idea of there being a duel over this saber is it creates a unique protagonist-antagonist dynamic for Season 3. Rather than the show continuing down a more quest-oriented season kind of thing, the next season could specifically revolve around the Darksaber and uniting Mandalore and the lengths Bo-Katan might go to get that saber back in her possession. I actually speculate that Din will see an opportunity in wielding the Darksaber. And beyond the interesting possibility of a feud between Bo-Katan and Din, this also opens up a season full of other Mandalorians seeking out Din in an attempt to win the Darksaber. So this could get very, very intense for Season 3. I imagine, at the very least, a couple action-packed episodes with this being front and center. Basically, the Darksaber is replacing Grogu in every episode. Now, it might not be as cute, but it's just as important to the overall plot of The Mandalorian. So what do you think of all this? We really have no idea what Season 3 will turn out to be, but I hope for a more focused season on Din and Mandalorian culture versus an 8-episode quest kind of thing. And that doesn't mean that I'm not in love with Season 2. On the contrary, I think it's arguably the best Star Wars story so far that we have gotten since Return of the Jedi, and that's coming from a guy that really likes the sequels. So, as always, may the Force be with you, speculate responsibly, AT-AT is signing off.